God stuff, she lost me a bit in the God sections, and yeah.
Could you say more about that, Mare? Because like the God stuff for me was really powerful. Like I feel I liked her God stuff, right? So
when
what
she was like, yeah, priest, you don't get to decide. For me, I was loving that.
Yeah, me too.
I
think
agree
it
with
was
that.
separating religion and God, right? I loved that separation.
I do think that's important. I do not believe in God, to start. I do agree that you have to figure out, if you believe in God, you got to figure out your own, what you believe. And, but you know, I didn't like the jump about, what I'm listening to inside me is God. And so it's true. I don't know. I think it just opens it up to you can do whatever you want.
Do you have, like, would you describe yourself as having spirituality or faith in something, or are you purely scientific?
I'd say that I have, I think that there's a lot we don't understand about the physical world. And yeah, I think there's like a connectedness we don't understand, even about like how human beings are. We're still learning, like we are very complicated beings, and we're still learning about that.
So is it just the use of the word God, like the name God, because it's associated with like traditional religion? Like, would you, if there was, if it was called something different?
I think, no, not at all, actually. No, I mean, I fully respect people having their beliefs, and I think it's very important for a lot of people to believe in God. And it's very important for some people to follow a organized religion, like for their own spiritual health. But maybe it's like she's saying, I don't know what it was about it. There's something that rubbed me the wrong way. Like, this person can't preach to me, but I'll preach to you. I don't even know what it was.
So, I don't believe that there's like a God, like what Christianity would want you to believe, but I do believe to myself to be like really spiritual, and I believe in, like, I call it the universe, and you know, synchronicity and all sorts of things that I won't go into right now. And so when she spoke about, and I believe exactly what she said too, which was like, oh my God, like she thinks the same thing that I think. And I just have a tendency when people like her specifically say God, I just substitute in like universe, right? Like she's talking about what I know, and that's cool with me. Like, I don't care that she called it God. And you said you don't either, but like.
So I believe in God. And so I'm just gonna weigh in here. So I like what she said, that God's within, because I feel like that. I feel similar to her. But she also rubbed me the wrong way in this form as well, only because like I have my beliefs, and for me, they're just private. And I would never personally, I would never try to like convince someone else of them. And I feel like in the book, she's kind of, and I realize that's her wife, so maybe that's why, but I feel like she's feeding God to Abby. I probably don't even talk to you guys about it very much because it's just personal for me. It's private. And I think everyone has the right to have their own beliefs and live their life the way they live them. And I just feel like there was a little bit of like forcing her beliefs, and how maybe her beliefs are even better than organized religion's beliefs. And not all people who follow organized religion are like mean and bad. And that I think it was like, this is the right way to believe in God. And I didn't like it. I didn't like that.
I got that out of it. Yeah.
And she was basically saying God is not religion. God is the thing that like loves you anyway. I can't remember, like it was really, really poignant what she said, but she's like, God is not your religion. God is not the priest that says homosexuality is not allowed. You know, you take God with you when you leave that environment. We can visit the church, but like the love of God or spirituality or whatever, like you still have that. I think she was saying it in response. I don't think she was trying to.
But she's saying, like, she's saying it as if she knows. Do you know what I mean? Like the way she was saying it is like she's describing what God is, because
but
she definitely knows.
Describing too is the thing that's common among all religions of the people who are not using their religion as a weapon, which is God is love. But
it was kind of though served on a dish of, and it's because I'm Glennon Doyle. You're welcome. You know what I mean?
Book interrupted. This interruption is brought to you by Strange Things, a self-published children's book written by Anne Amos and illustrated by Leah McBean. Find the digital ebook on Amazon.ca.
That's happening while we're recording the intro to Untamed. That's my co-host. That's my interruption. A fucking terrifying spider. Oh, there he is again. Oh, he's gone.
Book interrupted.
Would you recommend this book, Lindsay?
I didn't hate it. I thought the stories were good, like you all are saying.
Sure.
I didn't hate it. I feel like she had a lot of too easy answers to these really complex questions. And it was too much like, well, if you do this and I know, and then it's going to be fine and you're going to know and you're going to, and you know, for you, Kim, that makes sense because you know yourself just the same and you can do that inside. Think of someone who grows up, you know, in a different environment, who grows up with abusive parents or who everybody has their own story. And I think that I would have preferred her to just tell her story. She was very like glassy over, like it was not, she wasn't, and at one point she says she's happy and that's why she's not as angsty or in her writing. And I think that I wish that I wanted to, like when someone tells a story, I want to feel what they're feeling. And she was more just like telling you things. She like threw things at you and I don't know. I just felt it wasn't inclusive enough and she was like, she talked about racism and sexuality. And I think all those were the bare minimum, like it was great. It's great for women who aren't exposed to, you know, racism or not racism, but like people of color or LGBTQ people, you know, for them, it was great. It would be great because then you get that experience to understand those things on a very basic level. But I just wanted more. So I would recommend it for some people, but I would never read it again. For me, it was a meh. It was a meep. No, it was a meh. Meep for me. So I thought it was too easy.
To Lindsay's point, there are some complex topics that are included in this book. Like, how do you even begin to touch upon them? And I think, Lindsay, you're right. If you were to stay with the storytelling, but go all in, like when she got really messy by sharing the story about how she had like rigged. Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh yeah.
Hasn't read. When she had rigged in
love
high
that
school,
one.
I was like, yeah, like that. I was like, tell the story.
I love that story because it was negative.
But don't
like
tell me.
So vulnerable. It was so much more real.
It was
than
so
anything
good.
else.
Yeah, but I loved it because she wasn't telling us how
What
to
to do.
think or feel or do.
Yeah.
She was willing to go.
Section. I did this and I did this and look at this terrible life I had. And then the last section was like, I did this and you should.
Yes,
you
that's the difference.
Can do this.
She wasn't actually saying you should.
She'd say things like you can do this and you can do that. And there's a lot of more like, I did this and you can.
Most of us said we'd recommend the book. I don't think we're saying we wouldn't recommend the book. I read it, I was like into it. Like it was a fast read. I was reading it actually I took 2 days off when I got to that part when Mary, you said.
About the kids that were taken away from their parents at the border, the U.S. border.
But what I found out was really cool because I felt like her, like I totally shut down when that happened. I had nightmares. I couldn't function. And I decided to donate money to somebody that might be doing something to help them. And the person I donated to was Together Rising. I checked.
Oh,
I was like, when I read it, I was Together Rising. I think that I did that. I was one of the 4.6 million people that gave money. I really like the book and I would recommend it to people. And I think she's doing great things. And I think she's a really good person.
She's trying to do good in the world, right?
Yes.
Like she's legitimately trying to make it a better place.
Did anyone else feel like the one child of hers got like lots of like highlights and accolades and the other
Like,
two were
does
like,
anyone else feel like at one point when Tish grows up, there's going to be growing up Doyle? Like, Like how my mother scarred me by writing an entire book about me.
About how sensitive
Yeah.
I am.
And my
Made me so nervous. And like I liked it because I
Gorgeous.
liked that like seeing behind the curtain. But oh my gosh, the whole time I was like, oh my God, Tisha's gonna grow up and fucking be pissed.
Maybe to her defense, maybe she asked her children, maybe she wrote some stories and said, "Are you okay with me putting this in?" Like she may
But
have
how old are
they
gone
said no.
and asked them for each one. Although, can you imagine?
I
Did her
hope so.
son say yes? Put in
Yes,
the one
the
about the
porno?
pornography.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, yeah, I watch it. So what? I don't know.
We can ask her if we ever have Glennon on.
That'd be
She's
great.
not going to want to come on after what I
I know.
said.
Well,
Sorry, guys.
Thank you for visiting Book Interrupted's YouTube channel. Please click the button below to subscribe. This way you don't miss any episodes. Also, if you like this particular episode, give us a thumbs up to say that you liked it. Give us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Or share it with your friends and family.
On Book Interrupted.